Hello guys, it's Nikhil Roby Coleman. I'm here with Tipo Financing, and here on this channel, we teach you guys how to get rid of your debt and build wealth. So today, I will be briefly talking about an example on how to calculate average daily balances and how to calculate average interest, how to calculate time of payoff, and how to calculate total interest that's being paid. In the examples that I was showing in my past videos, I was educating you guys on basically the how to use the personal line of credit, and I was educating you guys on how to use a HELOC. And in my prior videos, I was breaking down how fast you could pay off, how much interest you're being paid, and showing you average daily balances. But in this video, I'm going to further get deeper into how it's even calculated, just to give you guys an understanding and a full synopsis of how I'm coming up with these numbers and where these numbers are coming from. So let's get into it. So the first step is understanding and knowing what is your income, what is your expenses. How you do that? You do the calculation of your income by looking at the streams of income that you got coming into your account, whether it be one job, two jobs, three jobs, whatever. Calculating the income that comes into your account. Secondly, you have to know your expenses. What are your bills? That's what I mean by expenses. What are your bills and what is your living expenses? Living expenses is what is your rent and your groceries, things of that nature. Now, after you know those main two things, you want to see if I have a negative cash flow or do I have positive cash flow. This is how you figure out cash flow. You figure out your cash flow by subtracting your income from your expenses. Don't do it the other way around, expenses from income. No, you subtract income and expenses. And it's income minus expenses. Income minus expenses, not expenses minus income. It is income minus expenses every time. And that is how you come up with your cash flow. So in this case, I'm going slow. In this case, we are going to subtract 6,000, which is the income, from 3,000, which is the expenses. That gives you a $3,000 cash flow. A $3,000 cash flow lets you know that you have a healthy cash flow. If it was the other way around, where expenses is 3,000 and income is 6,000, that would give you negative $3,000 in cash flow. And when you are in the negative with your cash flow, that means that you have an unhealthy cash flow. That means you are in the negative. That means you are broke. That means you are not sufficient and you need to find a way to cut your expenses to get in the positive cash flow. Okay, that is a very important section before we even begin to do other calculations, is calculating the cash flow. The cash flow is a very important start to the process because we need to know automatically how should we go forward if it's negative or positive. If it's positive, now we can go forward to the next step. If it's negative, we cannot move forward to the next step until your cash flow is positive. Okay. Now, the next step, right? So we done calculated cash flow, right? 6,000 minus 3,000 equals 3,000. So you got a healthy cash flow in this example. We have a debt of $30,000, and we have to knock that $1,000 down. That $30,000 down. We have to knock that down. The first thing that we have to do is find out what the average of our PLOC. And in this case, we have a PLOC of $10,000 with a 12% interest. So what we do is, in this example, we find out the average daily balance to this PLOC. And after we find out the average daily balance, right, we're going to divide the average daily balance by 2 to figure out what's the average, just the average interest payment from beginning to end, from the beginning to the end of the PLOC life, right, when it comes to paying it down once you have used it. Okay, it will make more sense as I explain it. Okay, so we would do 10,000 times 12%, which is 10,000 times 12% gives us $1,200. This $1,200, this is for the year of this $10,000 personal line of credit with a 12% interest rate. This is for the year. After we do that, we have to divide this by 365 days. So we divide it by 365 days. So we divide by 365 days. Why do we divide by 365 days? Because we're calculating average daily, right? Average daily value. That's why, right? It's daily. So the fact that it's daily is every day. So we got to calculate it based off a daily balance, right? Right? Average daily balance, right? So that's why we divide it by 365. And we get $3 and basically 28 cents, right? That's per day. That's per day. Now we have the daily, this is your average daily balance for this $10,000 line of credit, which is $3.28 per day. Now we have to multiply that by 30 days, which is a month. The reason why we do that is because there's 12 months in a year. So we have to calculate it monthly in order to get your monthly interest payment. So we would come and multiply that by 30. So when we multiply that by 30, that gives us $98.63. $98.63. That's your average daily balance for the $10,000 line of credit. Right? Now, we're trying to find the average. Remember, we're trying to find the average interest payment from the $10,000 line of credit. So what we do is we have to divide this number 9863 by 2. The reason why we divided 9863 divided by 2 is we got to find the average between the beginning, from the very beginning when you start the personal line of credit, to the very end. At the very beginning, your first interest payment is going to be $98.63. Your last interest payment is going to be $0. So in order to find the average, we have to add, then divide by 2. So we do 9863 plus 0 divided by 2. So 9863 plus 0 is 9863. Now we divide it by 2. So that's the breakdown of how to find the average interest payment. So we would divide that by 2, which gives us $49.31. This is our average interest payment from the beginning of the PLOC to the end of the PLOC. This is the average, $49.31. Now that we got the average, right? So I'm gonna erase this, right? So now our average interest is $49.31, right? $49.31. You can rewind this video, so I'm gonna erase this. Now, after we have found the average interest payment from the beginning of the PLOC to the end of the PLOC, now we have to find the time of payoff. Basically, we got to find how long is it going to take you to pay off the PLOC. How long is it going to take you from the beginning to the end to pay off the PLOC, right? Or how could I say it? Yeah, we're going to say the PLOC. So obviously we have $10,000 PLOC, right? So what we do is, I'm going to get my calculator in a minute, bear with me. How we calculate time of payoff is we do the total debt, right? We do the total debt of 10,000. We divide that. In parentheses, we do our cash flow. Our cash flow is 3,000. Our cash flow is 3,000. And then we put in we subtract that from our average interest, which is $49.31, right? So with my calculator, first thing I do first is I do 3,000 minus 49.31, which is 29.50, 69. Now I just bring this down, right? Now I'm going to divide, Now I'm going to divide 10,000 by 29.50, 69. So 10,000 divided by hang with me, 29, 50, 69, which is 3.38. So that gives us 3.38 months. So basically, it would take me to pay off the $10,000 personal line of credit. It's going to take me 3.38 months in this situation. And then after those 3.38 months, we go back, right? We go back and make another chunk payment to our $30,000 debt. So we're going to get to that as well. Okay, so now that we have that, right? We have that taken care of. Now we move to the next step. Now we are going to find how much interest am I paying, right? How much interest am I paying over that time span? How much interest am I paying, right? So the way that we find that out is the first thing we do is we multiply, right? We multiply time, right? We multiply time that it takes, and we times it by the average interest. And that's how we find the basically that's how we find the complete time frame or the complete dollar amount of how much interest we're going to be paying over the life of the PLOC. So what we do is we take time, right? We take time, which is 3.38 months, and we multiply that by 49.69. So let's calculate that and let's see what we get. So 3.38 months times 49.69 is $167.95. Bear with me, guys. I got to look at my calculator. I got to calculate this stuff. So in between, that's why I'm taking my time. So in a matter of 3 months of paying off $10,000 on a personal line of credit and interest, you only spent $167.95. So that's how you calculate how much interest you are paying throughout the life of a personal line of credit. Now, we finna take it a step even further. So we have calculated average. This is what we just calculated for you. We just calculated what's your average interest. We just calculated average daily balance. We just calculated time, right? We just calculated time of payoff. So we just calculated time for you. And we just calculated how to find total interest. So I'm about to take it a step further. I'm about to take it another step further and show you in this example how we're going to make chunk payments to our $30,000 debt and how we're going to pay that off. So let's get into it. So I'm going to erase this, right? Or it can stay. It can stay up. It can stay up. It can stay up. We can stay up. We can keep it up. It's not a problem. So I have already gotten a little bit into the example, right, of trying to pay off a $30,000 debt. So we're already under the assumption that we have made a $10,000 chunk payment already towards this $30,000 debt. So now it went from 30,000 to 20,000. So now we at 20,000 because we have made a $10,000 chunk payment towards the line of credit. So we have made a chunk payment towards the $30,000 debt. So with that being said, now it's time to pay off, right? It's time to pay off the line of credit. So with that being said, we go income in, expenses out, and now we get to this point. So the question is, Nikhil, what do we do now? How do we calculate the interest? Again, we're calculating average daily balance. So this is how we're going to calculate the average daily balance. We're going to do 4,000, right? We're going to do this number plus this number. So 4K plus 7K equals 11K, right? That's 11K. And then we're going to take this 11K and we're going to multiply it by 12%. So let's do that. So we're at 11,000. And we're going to times that 11,000. We're going to times it by 12%, which gives us $1,320, right? Now, remember, that's for the year. This $1,320, this is for the year, right? We're not done yet. So, no. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Let's back up. We at 11,000. Now we got to divide this by 2. So we got to divide 11,000 by 2. So we'll do 11,000 divide by 2, right? So that gives us $5,500. Now we multiply this by 12%. So we multiply that by 12%, which give us $660. Now, remember, this is for the year. This is for the year. We got to do average daily balance. So we got to divide this by 365. So we divide this by 365 and we get $1.80. $1.80 per day, right? So that's $1.80 per day. So that's the average daily balance. But we got to get the payment for the month. So we got to multiply that by 30 days. Some days it's 31 days in a year. In a month, and some is 30. But we're going to go with 30 just to leave ourselves room for error. So with that being said, we do 1.80 times 30. That'll be $54. Right? That'll be $54. So the interest payment for the first month will be $54. interest payment for month number 1. So you see what we did? We added the 4,000 plus the 7,000. We divided by 2, right? After we divide by 2, they give us the average of the two numbers, the high and low, right? And then we times it by 12%, which gives us $660. Divide that, right? Divide that by 365, which gives us our average daily balance. And then to find out what our interest payment for the month, we multiply that by 30, which gives us $54. So after that, you continue to repeat that process. Income in, expenses out, then find the interest. Income in, expenses out, then find the interest. So that's how you would do that. And then after 3 months, doing 3 months of this, right? Because it's only going to take 3.3 months to bring this number down to 0. So that'll be $7,054, right? So coming to month number 2, we right here with it, 1,054. So that's income for month number 2. So this income for month number 2. Now you here. So now you got to pay your expenses, right? Which is 3,000, and your expenses for month number 2. Now you're at $4,054. So what you will do is you will get this number and that number and do the exact same thing of what I did with the first month, right? Getting the high, getting the low, divide them by 2, multiply by the interest, divide by 365, and then multiply by 30. So that's how you would do that. After 3 months, you'll be paid off, and now that is turned to 10,000, and you're going to make another chunk payment, which is 10,000, right? And then that'll be 0 after another 3 months. So in total, right? In total, that'll be 3, 6, 9. Because it takes 3 months to pay off $10,000. So we got 3 months, another 3 months, and another 3 months. That's 9 months. So it'll take you 9 months to pay off a $30,000 debt. Now, let's get this number, right? Let's get this number and multiply it by 9. So we get that number, multiply it by 9. So we do 167 times 95 times 9. So now we're at 1,555 cents. This is what you paid in total interest. So in total interest for the whole $30,000, you only paid $1,511.55 over the lifespan of paying off this $30,000. So this is how you calculate the calculations you need in order to find out what is your average interest? What is your average daily balance, right? How much interest you're going to be paying in this PLOC, and it's going to end the calculation of time of payoff. So I just gave you a whole video educating you on where my numbers come from. These are where my numbers come from. This is not any magic. This is simple math that I use that the banking system don't use. They don't even know how to use it. They don't even know about these type of tools and this type of math to even figure out what's the average daily balance, what's the average interest, what's time of payoff. They don't even know the formulas. I'm not saying that it take a rocket scientist to figure it out, but this is not what they're telling you, right? So this is why a personal line of credit works, because we are on average daily balance and not on amortized schedule. Amortized schedule is different. Amortized schedule is simply putting you on a payment schedule. And this 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 month. They're just putting you on a schedule throughout time, right? And you just paying the same old payment every single month throughout the life of an amortized schedule, which is a loan, which is a mortgage or a car mortgage or a personal loan, any type of loan. They have you on an amortized schedule. They just got you on a timeline, and every month, right? Every month you just paying whatever that's on that timeline, right? You're just paying a fixed price, a fixed cost every month. So that's why they are stealing so much money from you in interest. It's because they're putting you on an amortized schedule. This is a personal line of credit is average daily balance, right? You're only getting charged based off of what you use on the balance, on the card, on the personal line of credit. You're not getting charged anything else. And your interest rate is your true interest rate. This is a true 12%. It's not a 12%, but it's really 140%, 144%, or whatever the case may be. You know, it's not that. You know, it's actually what it is. So 12% is 12%. When you're dealing with mortgages and you're dealing with mortgage loans, car loans, personal loans, you're not dealing with the true interest rate percentage. So I just want to nip that in the bud. So this is how you get your calculations. This is where my calculations come from. This is where my numbers come from. I didn't pull nothing outside of this board, what I use today, to figure out everything that is going on in this example. I gave you everything. I give you every tool that you need to have, all the way into knowing what's your income, what's your expenses, what's your cash flow. I hope this video encouraged you guys. You guys got to start feeling better about your future when you hear a video like this. When you hear a video like this should encourage you. This should make you feel better. This should elevate you. This should let you know that you're not, what I'm putting out and what I'm preaching to you guys is not as bad as you think it is. Look at this. Your payment, your interest payment is literally $54, right? Like $40, you know? So, and it's automatically locked in inside of the line of credit. So when you put your income in, it's already paid for. You ain't got to worry about it. So let this video encourage you, let it motivate you, let it put you on the path of success. Start feeling better about your situation now. Start getting hyped about your situation now because you have seen this video. I hope this video saves you. If there's anything I put wrong in the video that you disagree on, if there's anything that I said that was wrong, put it in the comments of the video. Put it in the comment section. I'll be sure to read it and do better. But from what I've done at this point, um, I hope that I was able to encourage somebody and help somebody out in this video. If you want to schedule a call with me, go to my website, www.tempofinance.org, and you can contact me. You can call me directly. You can set up a call. It's all up to you. But I am available. I am here. I am a service. So I cannot go out and chase you. I cannot go out and run behind you. I can't go out and try to convince you and persuade you to do things. That's not my job. My job is to provide a service, and that is to help the people and be in the interest of and be in the best interest of the people. Because truth is, we are in a debt crisis. You don't feel it, but it's definitely here, and it's right here in front of us in our face every single day. I hear so many stories when I'm at work, because I do have other jobs. When I'm at work, when I'm out doing other work, I just hear so many people going through so many things, and I just pray to the Lord that they run into these videos and they run into these videos and and find some type of salvation from a financial standpoint. So that's all that I have for this video. You guys be safe. I love you guys. Y'all be safe out there. God bless.